Howdy y'all, I'm Corey and this is Travel the Board. Last year I made a everything you need to know about Gen Con video. I tried to cover everything from buying your badge to booking your hotel all the way through the end of the convention. Well, this year we're going to focus on just the best 4 days in gaming, the con itself. Gen Con is an insanely huge event that can get overwhelming quickly. I want you to be prepared for that. So I give to you the ultimate Gen Con survival guide, filled with my tips and tricks for you to have the best convention. Let's get into it. Let's start this guide out with something that other creators have made entire videos about, and that's the bag you take with you to the convention and what's inside of it. First off, you need to familiarize yourself with Gen Con's bag policy. You're not allowed to bring the big rolling carts that you see people put games and children inside of that take up the entire aisle. You're not allowed to bring rolling luggage like you would for your hotel and put games inside of that. And you're not allowed to use your children's strollers as shopping carts. Those are meant to be used for your children, not for games. But the type of bags you are allowed to bring. I recommend getting just a nice, good strapped, small, easy to carry, comfortable backpack. This is the one I use. It's got nice, comfortable straps. I can throw it on real easily. It fits well. I can pull it tight to my back and on my shoulders so it's not hanging very hard and weighing down on my back all day. A nice, good sized backpack I think is perfect. The other type of bag that I know you're all thinking about are these large gaming bags. I love these things and they're awesome. They're great to use to take games back and forth from game night, move games from house to house. I even bring mine to Gen Con, but I leave it at the hotel because I use it for putting my games inside of. At the end of the day, I put my purchases inside this bag so that I can transport them home inside of one, bag. But this does not come to the convention with me, and I'm going to go ahead and say, please do not bring yours. They take up so much space in the aisles, and honestly, most people find them very rude. You are going to hit people with it unintentionally. You're not trying to do anything, but you will take up too much space in the aisles. You will inadvertently hit people, and to so many people, these things just come across as rude. As functional and amazing as these things are for the purposes they're intended for, convention hall walking is not one of them, so please, if you bring one of these, let it be only to transport your games home with you. Now, if you're the type of person and you know for a fact that you're going to be packing very light every single day when you go to the convention, normally I would say that these pull string bags like the ones I offer on my shop are not great for conventions. I have this one here that I sell on my shop to take back and forth with you from other game nights that you're bringing like one game or small games, or to take with you, on hikes and things like that, whatever. So I love these types of bags. I would only use one of these pull string bags if you plan on packing light every day. You're only bringing 1 or 2 things with you and there's no need for a large bag. However, for the majority of you, I recommend a backpack. So let's get into what goes into my bag. A couple of nice little features that if you can come with your backpack would be fantastic. You always want to have some type of front zipper here so that you can have easy access to whatever things you want to get to quickly. It's very nice if it has one of these zippers that is on the back side of the bag, a security zipper, so that you can put things like your money, your wallet, your car keys, whatever. That way it rests firmly against the sole of your back so that you don't have to worry about, theft or anything like that. And also when it comes to security, I recommend picking up a tiny little padlock thing to go on your zipper. If somebody really wants to get in your bag, this isn't going to stop them, but it will deter people and make it take longer for them to get in it, and it makes it louder for them to get in it, whatever. It's just a nice little deterrent. So I have one on mine. I keep it, locked the majority of the time unless I know I'm going to be in and out of it all the time. None of these are required, just nice little things to have, and theft has never really been something I've ever heard of being a problem at Gen Con, but, always be safe. You never want anything to happen, so just take care of yourself. All right. Now, what goes into my bag and what do I think should go into your bag? I'm going to split this up into 2 parts here. Let's start with the stuff that I think everyone should take with them. In my time at Gen Con or other conventions, I believe these things to be necessities and you need to have them with you, so let's do those things first. All right, so the first thing that you have to have undoubtedly, and it's not even going to go in your bag, it's going to go around your neck more than likely, but that's your badge. You need your badge on you at all times, so be sure that you don't forget it at home, or you will have to purchase another one through customer service and tell them that you do not have yours. please have your badge on you at all times. Security will be checking for these. Like I said, not going in your bag, hopefully gonna be on your person, but I do want to mention it here. Something that you will have and you will need. Now, GenCon does a great job with having e-tickets for a lot of their events, but some of their events are still paper ticketed. You will need your paper tickets with you, so do not forget to put these in your bag or on your person somewhere. You will need your paper event tickets for the day. Now, the item I would say is the most important to have on you after your badge, after your tickets, after the bag itself, is a water bottle, especially if you can have an insulated one. I offer these on my merch shop. I'm not trying to plug everything, it's just I offer a lot of this stuff on my merch shop. But a nice insulated water bottle of some kind. Keep you nice and cool and hydrated, drink plenty of water. This will be the #1 tool that you use at GenCon, and if you're not using it enough, use it more. So get you a nice water bottle to take with you, something that is refillable, keeps it nice and cool, something like this. All right, also extremely high importance both for myself and I'm sure many of you out there. A lot of us are on medications, whether it be prescription medications or some of us just need over-the-counter medications, or it's just nice to have some things on you at all times because you never know what's going to happen. I keep a little caddy here filled with different medications, both my prescription and over-the-counter, so that I'm always prepared every day to take whatever I need, and I just leave in here enough for either a day or two worth. I don't carry around all my pills with me at all times. I have everything in here right now, but the day of, I take out what I'm not taking with me, and I just bring what I need. But a nice little pill caddy of some kind to have medication in. That way you never forget to take it. And also, don't forget to set timers on your phone for your, whatever time you need to take medications. You will easily lose track of time at GenCon, and we all know it's extremely important to take your meds on time, so be sure you're setting alarms on your phone so you don't forget when to take your meds. All right, and even though we're there having fun, playing games, shopping, enjoying time with each other, we do live in a world where our phones are very important to us nowadays, and we need to keep them charged up, along with any other electronics or accessories that we may need to take along with us. Some people have things that they need to charge for, medical reasons or whatever else. So be sure that you have some type of battery pack on you. I've got the nice big chunky one here because with my content creation, I need a very big one to charge all of my stuff. But, bring you a nice little one just to recharge your phone or whatever, but bring you some type of battery pack so that you are able to recharge your devices throughout the day. With that being said, don't forget your cords. I have this nice one here that, has all 3 different heads on it, so I can charge any device I need to at any time. But be sure you have some type of cord for your charging, otherwise the battery pack does you no good. So bring your battery pack, bring your cords. Also, there are outlets around the convention center. They're not always available, but you may find somewhere lucky enough to sit down and plug in. So I also bring a charging block with me just in case, because if I see somewhere that I'm going to sit for a while and I can charge, I would rather do that than use my battery pack, so I bring just a little cube with me as well so that I can charge if I need to. Alright, and this part is going to be more of a disclaimer than telling you what to pack. These are all the things that I think everyone should bring with them. I think they're super important. You want to be able to charge your devices, bring a water bottle, bring your meds, bring your, badge and your tickets and things of that nature. So I really think that you can pack light daily for GenCon and for other conventions. I think that you can come in every day and not weigh down your bag. Some people really think that they have to bring this and 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 this because they plan for every eventuality and they're like, oh my goodness, I don't want to be unprepared if something happens. Yes, if that makes you feel comfortable, if that helps you enjoy yourself more because you feel prepared, then by all means do that. Over the years though, I feel like I have been taking more and more out of my bag each year and basically said if one of these, crazy things happens, I'll just deal with it and just move along. So I am going to show you some of those recommended items to bring with you, but I'm going to leave the rest of these up to you whether or not that you should bring. The ones I showed are the ones that I think you should bring. The rest of these are bring what makes you feel comfortable and makes you feel like you don't have to worry. Like I said, people are different, different strokes for different folks, I feel like every year I'm taking things out of my bag personally, but some people don't want the anxiety of having to worry, so pack whatever you think is necessary. And one more thing before we get into these, pack or don't pack items, you know yourself, you know what you need on a daily basis. If you're a diabetic, you're going to have things that you're going to have to bring that other people aren't. If you have, asthma or something, you may need to bring an inhaler. If you have, allergies, you may need to bring an EpiPen. All of these things that you should be bringing based off of your needs or, whatever. You know yourself, bring those special items, don't forget them, but I'm not going to go through a list of 75 items that very specific individuals may need. So just think about the things that you absolutely have to have based on medical needs or personal use or whatever. Don't forget them, so be sure that you bring those specialty items that fit your needs. Now let's get into the items that I think you could bring. I will be bringing, but it's really up to you. All right, first off, getting into this, you're going to see later in this video I talk a lot about food. Making sure you stay nourished and plenty of water, but you also need food at the same time. There are plenty of options for food I'll get to later in this video, but if you want to make sure that you have something with you at all times, your blood sugar could all of a sudden drop or anything, it's nice to have a couple of snacks on you. Things that aren't going to go bad in your bag or melt. I bring some raisins, maybe. Now these can melt, but I usually eat them pretty fast, like some yogurt bites or something, granola bar. Try not to get one with chocolate because that can melt. But something quick, easy, isn't going to go bad, isn't going to melt. Keep in your bag is really nice to have. So some extra little snacks to keep on you can be really nice. Alright, so yes, we're going to be in a convention center. We're going to be inside for the majority of this, but it is still August in Indianapolis. It's summer. You have to take weather into account. You are going to be outside sometimes, whether that's getting food or just stepping outside for some air, whatever. You're going to be outside some. So be sure you plan for weather. Keeping some type of small umbrella with you, just like one of the little like bag-sized pocket ones that are like $10 at CVS can be really nice to have. So getting a little umbrella, if that helps you feel comfortable and not have to worry, then by all means bring one. But you also need to plan on not bad weather, but really good weather, the sun and the heat. Some sunglasses. I cannot tell you the number of times that I have been outside and just squinting my way trying to find the convention center, not being able to see because the sun is just killing me. So some sunglasses is really nice. Also, if you're someone who could burn easy or you just want to be safe, some sunscreen. I use the Mad Rabbit sunscreen because I've got tattoos, so for you tattoo people out there, be sure you bring sunscreen. You don't want any sun fading happening along the way. Protect that ink, protect that art. But also for those of you without tattoos, having some sunscreen can go a long way. Alright, so I've never had the need for it, but it is nice to think about because you never know what could happen. I've heard a lot of people say that they bring extra clothing, whether it be an extra shirt, extra, underwear, whatever, just in case something were to happen, they were to get wet or uncomfortable, or they just get really sweaty walking around all day and they'd really like to feel refreshed with a new outfit midday and their hotel's not nearby and they can't go back. Some people will bring a whole extra outfit, and if you want to, that's fine. Do whatever fits you. But I have always heard, and I also would recommend, you are going to be hot, you are going to be sweating, and you are going to be walking a ton. Try and bring an extra pair of socks. Change those puppies out about midday. It will feel so refreshing, and everyone around you will probably thank you because eventually your feet will start to stink. So get used to some extra socks and bring them with you. All right, so something for everybody. Now, I'm a big talker. I'm a big people person. I will do everything I can just to talk to more and more people throughout the entire convention. So this one doesn't apply to me, but I know for so many of you, this one could be a savior because you just need to tune things out for a bit, or you just want to walk around and chill. Some headphones. Headphones can go a long way at the convention. Put those puppies in, blast some music, walk through the vendor hall, and just vibe while you shop. It's really fun. I have done it before, but I'm too much of a people person for that. I just want to talk to people. That's how I get my, mental fixation. But if some headphones sounds good to you, be sure you put them in your bag and don't forget about them. I've heard people talk about this one a million times, and my friends Scott and Lucas, who you've seen here on the channel, would attest to this for sure, because these two, they carry one of these around constantly, even in their everyday life. Just a little notepad with a pen so that you can jot down phone numbers, information, anything that you might want to remember. Most of us use our phones nowadays, but a lot of people still like to prefer some good old pen and paper, so just having a little notepad and a pen with you at all times could really go a long way. And plus, if you forgot your battery pack, your phone might be dead, and now you've got the old-fashioned method. I've heard a lot of people say it's really nice to have these with them, and I keep one with me actually just because I do tend to find this very useful. And actually everything I'm showing you right here, I actually do bring with me every day. These are just the ones that I don't feel like are necessary, but if you would like to, you absolutely can. But all of this you're seeing right here, I actually do bring with me every day. All right, and last but not least, you are going to find time at Gen Con where you are not doing anything, in the sense of you're either sitting and resting, or you're sitting outside of a room waiting on your event to start and like the previous one to end, or maybe you've just got through eating and you're still sitting around kind of waiting to get up and get going, or you just want to take a breather or whatever, having some nice pocket games at all times so that while you're sitting, you can just bust out a quick game with whoever you're with and then just have some fun playing some games at a gaming convention. I keep a little case here that's got a bunch of the Paco games in them. I find these to be great games. I can either take the whole case with me every day, or I can just take one out per day, throw it in my pocket, and just walk around with it. Whatever fits for you, or whatever games you want to fit in your bag to have with you at all times that would be easy to play sitting on the floor outside of a room waiting on your event, or sitting at a table after you get done eating. Whatever works for you, but having a nice little pocket game at all times can really help you enjoy your downtime. And that's the bags that I use and the items I bring with me. There are loads more, so be sure you get in the comments below. Let me know what other items you bring with you to the conventions, or if there's any other items that you feel like I neglected to mention that should be going in people's bags, or just some nice shout outs for people to be like, hey, this could be a good recommendation. Put those in the comments for me. Alright, so I know we said that we're only going to be talking about the best 4 days in gaming, which would be Thursday to Sunday. I'm going to cheat just a little bit here and say, if you're able to get there early, let's say on Wednesday or maybe even Tuesday, this is your perfect opportunity to head on over to the convention center and get some stuff done. Here are a few things that you can do early at the convention center. One, you can go around the convention center and locate where all of your events are going to be. All of your events are going to have the location of all of them on them. They'll also be on the app. Anywhere you can see your events, it will tell you the location. You can figure out early where your events are located so that the day of the convention, you're not spending all of your time frantically running around searching, trying to find your events and where they're at, possibly showing up late and affecting the event for both the event organizer and the other people, you know, participating in it, while also ruining it for yourself a little bit. So go ahead and figure out where those events are located ahead of time, and the perfect time to do that is a few days before the convention actually starts, if you're lucky enough to get there a few days ahead of time. Also, if you can get there early before the convention starts, head on over to Will Call. You need to pick up your badge, you need to pick up your tickets, you need to pick up everything you can from there as quick as you can, because you don't want to spend your convention waiting in line, do you? Now, the Gen Con staff and volunteers have done a fantastic job over the years. They have that line down to a science. Now, you're going to look at it and be like, oh my goodness, look how long this line is. I'm going to be here for hours. I have literally seen the Will Call line go all the way down the hall, out the back door, and around the block, and you still get through it in maximum like 45 minutes. Like worst case scenario, an hour. The line moves very fast. They do a fantastic job, but if you want to help that line move quickly and help your other attendees get to the fun as quick as possible, you have to have your state issued ID, driver's license, whatever, in hand when you get up to the front, because you will need that to pick up all of your materials from Will Call. So have that in hand when you get to the front, and it'll just make the line go that much faster for everyone behind you. But go ahead and head on over to Will Call as soon as you can. Also, speaking of lines, be sure that you schedule a time for yourself to go and stand in that Gen Con store line. You've got to get you some of this Roll a Crit merch picked up from there. It's fantastic. I always pick me up a t-shirt, some kind of mug or cup or something like that, but that line can go long. That line will look shorter than the Will Call line, but will go much slower. So you need to prepare for that and be ready to stand in line for a while. And I'm going to say this, for all of you that get in line and slow the line down, let's be sure that we're being conscientious of all of the other attendees there. Let's move that line as fast as we can. How can we do that? Figure out what you want before you get to the counter. They have all of the merchandise up behind them, you know, shown off. All the sizes that are available are still shown up there. If they're out of a size, they'll put out of stock, whatever. Have your decision made before you reach the counter of what you're wanting to buy, because that line really can get aggravating sometimes. They do the best they can, but I honestly think a lot of that is our own faults by not being prepared when we get to the front. So do your shopping while in line, so when you get to the front, you just place your order and you're ready to go. But be sure you schedule time to get into that line, because you got to get this merch. It's fantastic. I mean, just look at this. I love this thing. And like the Gen Con shirts every year are top notch. Roll a Crit does a great job. So just be sure you're ready because you got to pick up some great merch. Alright, so while we're on the topic of will call, let's go ahead and talk about badges and tickets for a minute and how all of that works. So for one, once you pick up your badge, you need to be sure that you have that on you at all times. The staff and the security teams located at all of the doors of the exhibitor hall will be looking for those badges. They're not going to hound you about it, like they're not going to be, you know, inspecting your body for them like crazy, but if you try to enter an area that requires a badge and they don't see it, they will stop you and just ask, hey, where's your badge? So try to leave that somewhere very visible on your body. They come with a great lanyard to just hang it around your neck, make it very visible and easy. You don't want to get stopped. The security people don't want to stop you. Just be sure you have your badge with you at all times. It's very important. Alright, and event tickets. Event tickets are how you get to go and do all the things you want to do. Some of your events are going to end up being free events, and you're going to look at those on the app and be like, huh, do I really need to get a ticket because it's a free event? Yes, you do. Now, some events do let people come and go, you know, based off of like fire codes and attendance and things like that, such as the Gen Con dance. Just because it's sold out doesn't mean you can't go. It just means that people with tickets have priority. But tons of the free events will require your ticket because they need a head count. It's how the event organizers get paid. It's how they know what events are popular. It's how they keep up to attendance codes and things like that. So no matter what, even if it's a free event, be sure you get your ticket, okay? So how do you get your tickets and how does all of that work? I have a video that discusses this, but I'll give you the brief synopsis here. There are two types of tickets. There are e-tickets and paper tickets. Paper tickets have to be picked up from will call if you did not have them shipped to your house early ahead of time. So if you go onto the app while you're at Gen Con and you purchase extra tickets to an event and it's a paper ticket, you will have to go to will call after you purchase it to pick up that ticket, have it printed for you, and that way you can get the ticket from them and go to your event. However, if you notice on your event it says e-ticket. On your badge there's going to be a barcode. That barcode is basically your ID for the convention on your badge, and it will have all of your e-tickets loaded onto it. So when you go to an event that requires an e-ticket, they will scan your badge and it will tell them, oh, Corey has a ticket. He's good. So if it's an e-ticket, once you buy it, it's loaded on your badge, you're good to go. If it's a paper ticket, head on over to will call because you will need to pick up that ticket. Alright, so I want to give you guys some resources that you can go ahead and have ahead of time to go ahead and start preparing yourself before the convention. These are going to be great resources to have at the convention and ahead of the convention, but you can go ahead and start on them now. The first one, and one of the most important ones, is go ahead and download on your phone the Gen Con app. Now on the app, you're going to be able to do a few things. You're going to be able to look at your schedule of all the events that you have planned. It's also going to give you the rundown of those events, you know, how many tickets were sold, how many are available, you know, where are they located, you know, everything that you can see about the event is going to be on there on your schedule, all nice and in order for you right there on the app. Also, you can book new events from the app, so you can look at all of the available events, filter and sort them just like you could on your computer, and you can look at what events you might still want to do that you've not signed up for, purchase them right there on the app, and then head on over to will call, or like I said, they may already be on your badge if they're e-tickets. Also, lastly on the app, and one of the best things, a lot of people ask me, how do I know how to get around the convention center? You always talk about how Gen Con isn't just the convention center. It's the stadium, it's the surrounding hotels. There's so many different places that Gen Con is going on. How do I navigate all of this? Well, Gen Con has done a fantastic job of having maps. They have maps on their app of the convention center, of everywhere Gen Con is going on, where you can basically click on an event, click on the location of that event, and it shows you on the map where it's located so that you can more easily find it. There are also maps available on Gen Con's website. The same map is available there of the convention center and the surrounding area, but they also have maps of the exhibitor hall, which tells you where certain exhibitors are located within the hall so that you can track down those like must-see places that you've got to get those games that you've got to get to as quick as possible. So all the maps are available both on their app and on their website. by. So that is a huge resource for you guys to take advantage of. All right, so let me give you just a couple more resources, then we'll get back into my actual tips here. So a couple of the Gen Con official ones that I think are very useful. Obviously, all their socials. Follow the Gen Con Facebook page, their TikTok account, their Instagram account, their YouTube account. All of those places give you great information. They give you some behind the scenes looks. Certain creators and other people that he may know also put content on those different platforms from time to time. So they're also very enjoyable just to follow along with everything going on with Gen Con. So that's Gen Con official ones. You can also subscribe to the Gen Con newsletters. They'll send you emails whenever something's going on. You can, you know, sign up for the Gen Con Discord, which is full of tons of Gen Con fans over there talking about different things. There's different, you know, subcategories of conversations going on. So the Discord is awesome. The Reddit is awesome. But then let's talk about some non-official Gen Con ones. It's going to sound like it's official, but it's really not. The Fans of Gen Con Facebook page is a fantastic community that is a huge part of Gen Con at this point. The people who run it are wonderful people, and everything going on with Gen Con tends to find its way to this Facebook page. I'm very active in it. I know tons of other people that are active in it. You know, content creators like myself are putting information out there. This video will be shared to the Fans of Gen Con Facebook page. You know, they also post the Gen Con posts on the Fans of Gen Con Facebook page. I think it's a wonderful place that everyone should join, so I try to give that one as a piece of advice to everyone to go to. And another huge piece, giant resource for you to do is hit that subscribe button down below. If you don't know me, I'm all about Gen Con. I do everything Gen Con. I am a part of the Gen Con content creator team this year. I'm very fortunate to do so. I try to keep you guys in the loop in an entertaining and helpful way as I possibly can. So I'd really appreciate that if you hit that subscribe button below, hit the like button on my videos, you know, follow along with me. I try to keep you guys informed and have fun while we do it. I also do tons of other content, so come along with us. And if you see me at Gen Con, come say what's up to me. I can't wait to meet you. Alright, so we want to get you to the fun as fast as we can. And on convention day, there's a couple things you need to have figured out first thing before you get in the car that day. If you don't have a downtown hotel, which hopefully you do, but for those of you that don't, you need to go ahead and have planned ahead of time where you're parking. Did you pay for parking ahead of time in one of the lots? Are you going to one of the parking garages? Are you parking on one of the streets and paying for it? You need to have figured out ahead of time where you're parking. You need to have that locked down. Don't expect to just be able to drive up and find somewhere to park immediately. So if you've not got on it, go ahead and get online, get on one of these resources that I've talked about, whether it be one of the Facebook groups or whatever. Talk to people and figure out where you're parking. That is extremely important, or you're going to waste your time driving around and then probably pay way more than was necessary to park way too far away than was necessary, and it's just going to be a headache for the day. So get your parking figured out. Also, for those of you driving in, go ahead, get online. There are so many different resources you can use. You basically just type in traffic in Indianapolis and construction. Figure out what construction, where the heavy traffic congestion is going to be. Nothing worse than you are getting up, you want to get to Gen Con by a specific time, you hit construction traffic, you're stuck on the road for 2 hours, all of a sudden you're late to the convention, you missed an event, you missed something that you wanted to do. Have it figured out ahead of time. Go ahead and start looking up where the construction and potential traffic issues could come in on your drive-in every single day for the convention. I'm just trying to save you the headache here. I promise. It's happened to me. I got stuck one time for over an hour. Thankfully, it was like at a point in the day that I had it to spare, but I can tell you from experience, if you don't plan ahead, it will happen. So go ahead and get on it. Okay, so we're at the point that hopefully you have arrived safely at the convention center. You're at Gen Con. It's time. It's Thursday. It's almost ready to kick off. It's 10 a.m., which is Running of the Nerds. Thursday is Running of the Nerds. It's when Gen Con kicks off. Now, yes, I want to go ahead and say ahead of time, there are things happening on Wednesday. There are things happening on Thursday morning before 10 a.m. Like, all of that is true. But in my mind, the start of Gen Con, all of that is pre-Gen Con. At the start of Gen Con is 10 a.m. when those doors open and that flood of people in the Running of the Nerds just find its way into the exhibitor hall. That is like the peak of Gen Con for me. When I think Gen Con, it's the first image that pops in my head is the Running of the Nerds. It starts at 10 a.m. because you need to go ahead and be familiar with what the exhibit hall hours are before you head to the convention. All right, so you need to go ahead and get familiar with the hours for the exhibit hall. You need to know when it's open so that you know when to go and buy and shop for all of those games. Now, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the exhibit hall is open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, they close it early and it's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you need to go ahead and plan for that so that you know when you need to go to the exhibit hall to get all your shopping done, when it's open. But for me, I'll see you at 10 a.m. on Thursday for the running of the nerds. I'm already excited for it. Like, it's the first thing I think about every time. Okay, so you're walking through the doors to the exhibit hall. You're finally there. You're inside. There's games, there's dice, there's knickknacks and goodies everywhere, and you're so excited. You're seeing other content creators. You're seeing people you know. The excitement is boiling over. You're finally inside. So let's talk about what it means to be in the exhibit hall. Specifically, your shopping. Be careful with your shopping and how you do it. If you run in first thing in the morning and you buy every single thing you want right away, you better have a plan for it or you're going to be carrying it around all day. I've done that before and it's not fun. I recommend spreading out your shopping. If there's something that you know is hot and is going to go quickly, yeah, sure, go ahead and go pick it up, get it out of the way so that you don't run in fear of, not getting it. Which, I want to throw in a little secret, if you don't get it, it's okay. You can get it later. We want you to get it now, but if you have to get it later, it's okay. There's plenty of other games to shop for. There's plenty of other things to do. You'll be all right. But let's say you get the games you want early or whatever it is that's hot. Go ahead, you can carry those around. It's not a big deal. I usually, throughout the day while I'm in the hall, I'll pick up my knickknacks. I'll buy some dice, throw it in my bag. I'll pick up a t-shirt, throw it in my bag. But what I tend to do is when I want to go and buy the bulk of my games, like all those big, heavy games that are going to fill up my tote bags that I'm going to be carrying either back to the hotel or to my car or whatever you're doing, I do that at the end of the day. Usually at like 4-ish p.m. because, the hall closes at 6. Maybe if I'm only getting 1 or 2 games, I'll wait till 5. But I wait till the end of the day because I don't want to carry those around all day. So I try to strategically plan my purchases around my events, around what I'm doing that day, when I may or may not go back to my hotel. Try to plan your buying. Don't just walk around aimlessly, not really knowing what you're going to do, or what's going to happen is you're going to get stuck with too much to carry and you're going to get miserable and hot and tired fast. So plan your buying. Now, I'm super excited to say this. With all that being said about, planning your buying and things, GenCon is offering a service this year for the first time. We'll see how it goes. I'm extremely optimistic and I'm excited for it, but they are offering a locker-based system where there is a certain place that you can go and pay to have your, games and bags and whatever stored for the day for you to come pick up at the end of the day to take back. Now, we'll see how this works. I don't want to give too much information about it because I don't want to overwhelm things, but just know that this is the first year that it's happening. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited. I'll put up the page right here that has all the information so that you guys can maybe try and test it out this year, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it goes well, and in the future this will just become a Gen Con staple, and this tip will just be null and void, and I can tell you, 10 a.m., go buy your games, put them in a locker, and have a great day. Like, that's what I hope happens, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself until we see how things go. But know that this year, a locker system is available for you to be able to store your stuff, so here's the page right here for you guys to check that out. One of the primary reasons I make these videos for you is because I want to make sure that you're having the best Gen Con possible. And I can only do so much. A lot of that has to go back into your hands. And what that looks like is, one, you watching this video, but most importantly, you need to plan. You need to plan your days and what they look like. There's a lot of things going on while you're at Gen Con. You're going to get caught up in shopping. You have events you need to get to. You need to eat. I hope you hear me. You need to eat, and you need to plan your eating around your shopping, around your events. You're going to randomly get sucked into things that you didn't plan on doing, but you got invited to it. You all of a sudden stumbled upon something that you're like, oh my God, this is so cool. I have to do this. So you need to plan your days for those eventualities. That might just happen. Leave space for yourself and dedicate to, this is the time I need to eat. If you're somebody who does get tired more often, or you think it's going to be a lot on you, schedule a time to take a rest. If you have a downtown hotel, maybe you need a midday nap or something like that. But go ahead and plan your days ahead of time. It will help you so much. It will relieve so much stress. progress. And then when those things come along that are unexpected, you just pivot. You just pivot and you adjust for it, and you go, okay, I didn't think this was going to happen, but thankfully I planned ahead and I have this time allotted for this other thing. I can cut that out and just, you know, adjust to the weekend as it comes, but have a plan going in, but be ready for that plan also to change. But with all of this being said, I want everyone to be sure they hear this. The primary reason you're a Gen Con is to have fun. So focus on that. Take your time. Yes, have a plan. Yes, be ready for unexpected things to happen, to pivot, maneuver, whatever. But at the end of the day, please just remember that we're all there to have fun. That should be your primary goal. Don't feel like you have to stick to that plan. Don't feel like you can't do this thing that sounds like a lot of fun to you. Every moment of the day, just remember that the main focus should be on fun and enjoying yourself. This is still a vacation. You're still there at an event that you wanted to go to. Don't strap yourself down to something and force it. Just have fun and just be sure to take your time. Don't feel like you have to rush and do every single thing possible under the sun. I must get in every single thing Gen Con has to offer in this one weekend, because it's not possible. With as many events as there are, as many things going on, as many booths, as much food to try, there's so much going on, you can't do it all in one weekend. Thankfully, we have many years of Gen Con to go, so come back next year and do more of it again next year, and more of it the year after that, and more of it the year after that. Don't try to cram it all in one weekend. Take your time and just have fun. Alright, so let's move on to events. We've talked a little bit about them, but I just want to stress to you one more time. Be sure you know where your events are. You're going to have so many different types of events, from seminars to workshops to playing games to RPGs to big LARPing events, all types of things. Know where each type of event is being held, and even better, specifically your events. Don't forget that there are tons of the surrounding hotels that are involved in Gen Con. Your events may not be at the convention center. You may have an event at 10 a.m. at a hotel, and then at noon back at the convention center, and then at 3 p.m. you might have one in the stadium somewhere. So be sure you know where you're going. Be aware that your events could be very spread out, so plan for that. You need to plan your travel time in between events. Don't schedule one that lasts from 1 to 2 p.m. and you have to be at your next one at 2 p.m. because you're not going to make it. It might be a 30-minute walk from the backside of the stadium to the Westin Hotel or whatever you're trying to get to. You need to make sure that you're planning your travel time for events. You want to get there early enough, because like I've said before, you don't want to make things difficult on the event organizer, on the other attendees of that event. You don't want to be rushing and stressing yourself. We're there to enjoy ourselves. You're there to enjoy your events. So give yourself adequate time. Make sure you're giving yourself adequate time between events, such as for bathroom breaks, water breaks, enough time just to catch your breath and breathe before you go to the next one. What if you just exited a 4-hour epic RPG adventure where you were screaming and shouting and having a great time, and in 15 minutes you've got that game of Lost Ruins of Arnak you got to run to? No, you take your time, schedule your events appropriately. You want to get in all the fun you can, but be sure you don't overdo it to where you're no longer focused on the fun of these events. So know where they're at. Schedule appropriately, give yourself time in between. Don't overschedule yourself. I have an entire guide video. I have tons of Gen Con videos on this channel if you haven't figured that out. I have an entire guide video about how to go about events, but this is just a quick little, rundown for you of how I would manage your events. Alright, so we've been talking about all of this hecticness and craziness and all of this commotion going on at Gen Con with 70,000 plus people, 25,000 plus events. Oh my goodness, this is too much to manage. There's stuff happening everywhere. Well, thankfully Gen Con is very sensitive to the needs of their attendees, and with that they have a quiet room. They have a sensory room for those of us who it's just gotten to be too much. We need a breather. We need 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever, to just get away from the commotion, go to a safe place that we just can unwind, re-stabilize ourselves, re-evaluate ourselves, and get ready to go and continue the fun with everyone else. So the Gen Con Con Quiet Room is a great place for you to get away and do that. So be sure that when you get to Gen Con, find out where that quiet room is. It's not always in the same place, so I don't want to tell you right here, but just go to any of the information booths, talk to any of the workers or volunteers, ask them where that quiet room is, and they'll guide you directly to it. When I get there at Gen Con, I will post where that is on my channel, so be sure you subscribe and I will post that for you, because I think it's very important for those of you who need that time, who require that room to fully enjoy Gen Con, and I think it's a wonderful thing that they do. So don't feel bad, don't feel like you're the odd one out or the weird one for needing to go and do this. No. Be sure you take care of yourself. Being at Gen Con can be stressful. There's a lot of things going on, and I want you to experience it to the fullest. And if that means getting away for a little bit, then that's fine. Get away for a little while. Go get yourself relaxed so that you can come back and have a great time with the rest of us. We want you there, so go take care of yourself. All right, so we're at the convention. We're having a great time, but something I've stressed already, you need to eat. You need to drink plenty of water. You need to take care of your body. So how can you do that? Where can you get some food? Well, on South Street, in between Lucas Oil Stadium and the Indianapolis Convention Center, the street that runs directly between them, the street there will be double lined with food trucks all weekend. The full list of food trucks and what is available there is listed on Gen Con's website. Also, on the graphic they have on the website, it shows you which of the food trucks are gluten-free, vegetarian-friendly, dietary needs, things like that. So those of you who have those needs can better plan your food requirements while you're at Gen Con. But there are so many food trucks there. You have plenty to choose from. They're all fantastic, and you're going to want to try as many as you possibly can. Also, located next to the food trucks, right beside the Indianapolis Convention Center on South Street, is the Gen Con Block Party. There are tons of other food vendors there, such as Island Noodles and Hot Box Pizza and Harry and Izzy's. There are so many different things there that are Gen Con staples. You can get the Sun King Brewery Gen Con beer, and they have a Gen Con wine as well there. There's so many different things that you can get at the block party as well. You can get your souvenir mugs and sign up for the Wild Bill's soda so that you can go and refill your mug with soda as often as you'd like to. There are also concession stands inside of the Indianapolis Convention Center spread throughout. Now this is just going to be your generic concession stand foods. They do have a special Gen Con cup that you can buy, and you can go back to get your refills cheaper in that cup. So get your souvenir cup from the concession stands in the convention center, head out to the block party, head out to South Street and get some of that good food truck food. There's tons of options. There's also some great food options in downtown. You've got St. Elmo's Steakhouse, you've got Harry and Izzy's. There's tons of great places to eat downtown as well. If you have a vehicle or aren't afraid to jump in an Uber for a little bit, there are tons of restaurants a very short driving distance away. So food should not be a worry for you. There is plenty to choose from, but I would plan where you'd like to go ahead of time, and maybe even plan your backup just in case that first one falls through, because you don't want to spend your time at Gen Con figuring out what you want to eat. You want to go do your things, go eat what you plan to eat or your backup, and then get back to the fun. So just have a plan ready for your food. There's plenty to choose from. Just make a decision if you can. There's too many, but you can try. All right, so we've talked about eating now. You gotta take care of yourself. That also includes at the end of each day, going back to your hotel, your B&B, whatever, wherever you're staying, sleeping in your car. Get plenty of sleep. Get enough sleep so that you feel energized each day, so you can come to the Gen Con and be your best self, so that you can go and fully experience it to the max. These are gonna be long, hot, sweaty, tiring days that are gonna start early and end late. You're going to get some hardcore gaming in. You're going to walk around the exhibit hall. You're going to be walking from event to event. Those events could get tiring. Maybe you took a dance class or some kind of exercise class. You're literally going outside. It's August in Indianapolis. It's going to be hot. You're going to be out there waiting in line for food trucks. It's going to be a tiring day. So take care of yourself. Head back each night to wherever you're staying. Get a good night's sleep. Try to get at least 6 hours, if not more if you can. And And also, take care of yourself and those around you by getting in a good shower. Please, like I said, it's going to be hot, sweaty. We're all going to get that gamer BO. Be sure you get you a nice shower in. Take care of yourself and others. These are some key factors that not everyone takes into account. Some of us get some good sleep and eat plenty, but miss that shower. Some of us, we shower pretty good, but I got 3 hours sleep last night. Try to stay on top of all of it. It'll really help take care of yourself. All right, so something that happens at almost every convention there is, but definitely happens at Gen Con, is cosplay. Gen Con brings some of the best cosplayers I've ever seen, making some of the best costumes, best outfits, best everything I've ever seen, and it's fantastic. I love seeing them. I love getting pictures with them. I love talking to them. I love seeing all of their hard work come together in this moment, and they get to walk around as your favorite character or favorite thing from show or whatever, and they just look fantastic, and they just make the con funner to be at by them just being there. So everyone who does cosplay, I want to say thank you for doing it, and I see and appreciate all the hard work you've put into it. But let me give you some piece of advice, tips about cosplays here. I have cosplayed in the past, but I am by no means a cosplayer. I have just done it before, and I had a great time doing it. But here's some things that everyone needs to know. First off, and I say this not lightly, cosplay is not consent. Someone dressing up does not give you consent to go up and randomly take a picture without permission. It does not give you permission to touch them, hug them, do whatever. It does not give you permission to treat them inappropriately in any way. Cosplay is not consent. However, these people did choose to cosplay, and they're very proud of their work, as they should be. It looks fantastic. So if you see someone in cosplay that you really love what they've done, they look great, or they're, a character you love, if you want to go up to them, say hi, ask if you can give them a picture, ask if you can give them a hug, whatever. Get consent from them, because cosplay is not consent, but I can tell you from experience, the majority of them will be ecstatic to talk to you. They will love to take a picture with you, but be sure you ask first. Be respectful like you would want people to be respectful to you. With that being said, Gen Con has done a great job. Outside of the exhibit hall, they have a taped off area specifically for cosplayers. Cosplayers will go there throughout the weekend and stand there and pose. Anyone in this area is fully prepared and giving consent essentially to take pictures of them. They will be there posing in a line. They will be, acting or doing whatever. They have chose to be in that cosplay area, which is them telling you, please come take a picture, come talk to me, whatever. So if you're a cosplayer and you want to know where to go, right outside the exhibit hall, you will see this taped off area. It's usually near the balloon sculpture, so go check that out. Go stand in there if you want to go and let people check out your awesome cosplay. Alright, so cosplayers will be there all weekend, but it all builds to Saturday. On Saturday of the convention, that's cosplay day essentially, because what happens is that's when the cosplay costume contest is at Gen Con. It's fantastic, it's in the ballroom, and that's where all of the cosplayers for the weekend basically come together and go, look at me and look how fantastic this work I did is. And we all get to look at them and appreciate what they've done. So if you haven't got your tickets, if you haven't got to go before, I recommend it. It's a fantastic time for everybody. So the costume contest is where you'll go to see some of the best cosplay out there. With that being said, there is a event that everyone can go to for cosplay that I personally love for Gen Con. The contest starts at 4 p.m. Usually between 3 and 3:30, depending on timing and everything getting set up and ready. The Gen Con cosplay parade begins. They basically take all of the contestants and non-contestants. Everyone in costume is welcome to join. They do a parade through the entire convention center where all of these people in costume just get in line and just walk through the parade, and like all of the attendees line the halls and the corridors, and we take videos and pictures and everybody's waving, and we get to see all of the people at one big long line essentially parade through the convention center, and we get to see all the awesomeness in one go. And then you get to go sit in the costume contest, and you actually get to see them do like their little performance. They've got things they read out for each person, but it's fantastic. So the parade leading into the contest, it's really cosplay central, and I love it. So cosplayers at Gen Con, thank you for being there. Okay, so a couple of things to look out for at Gen Con that if you're new or you've never really paid that much attention, you've just kind of gone to the exhibit hall and just kind of got lost in the shopping, you've never really kept track of things going on around you or whatever, There are two big things that Gen Con does every year that I think are super cool. One of them is right outside the exhibit hall, and the other one is not far away, right at the main entrance to the Indianapolis Convention Center. You have the giant balloon sculpture, and you have Cardhalla. So the balloon sculpture, literally every year, it's themed around something. One year they did a giant Genevieve, the dragon mascot for Gen Con, if you don't know who that is. They did a giant Genevieve one year, and they spend the whole weekend building it. Every day you just see different pieces from the balloon coming together and coming together. And it's really fun because on Thursday, if you don't know what it is ahead of time, you're looking at it and you're like, oh, I don't know what this is. Oh, it's got like this big, white part right here and this like purple area over here. Oh, what is that? You come back on Friday and when you walk by, you're like, oh, okay, they've added this piece. Oh, that looks like a face mask. Oh, well, what if it's a knight or something? And every day you get to check it out until it starts to come together and you're like, okay, I see what's happening here. And then on the last day on Sunday, they destroy the entire thing. It's super cool. Figuring out what the balloon sculpture is every year has always been a fun thing for me. So that's right outside the exhibit hall. Be sure as you walk by every day, you check it out. I love it. But Cardhalla. Cardhalla is pure art that turns into madness, and I love it. So right when you enter the Indianapolis Convention Center through the main entrance, you're going to see a taped off area and signage for Cardhalla. What this is that people bring their own cards, and there have been cards donated from different places, just cheap, common, not special cards, the thrown away cards from different, card games, Magic the Gathering, things like that. And what people do is they build houses and fortresses, and they spell out words, and they build these great big tall towers out of these cards all in this area, and it happens throughout the entire weekend. So for 4 days you'll see people in there building towers and building things all over this area, and then it all comes together on Saturday night where we come together for a big auction where we're throwing money around and we're auctioning off for charity, throwing coins at the sculptures that have been built to destroy them. And then after, the people that have auctioned get to throw their coins, everyone throws coins in, and every coin that gets thrown also goes to charity. So we're making an awesome time destroying these sculptures, throwing things at the towers, watching them fall over. When one falls over, the whole crowd goes crazy. Every time a tower's leaning, you hear the oh, and then it just goes. It's awesome. I love Cardhalla, and they raise tons of money for charity. It's a fantastic event and one that I will never miss. So the balloon sculpture and Cardhalla are some free things that as you just walk around throughout the convention every day, it's fun to stop by both of those and see the progress and where we're at. I put it in my vlogs every single day because I love seeing the progress throughout the weekend. Alright, so I want to leave you with this last tip, last piece of advice, and I want everyone to take the time while they're at Gen Con to remember why we're there. It's not for the games, it's not for the convention, it's not for the food, it's not for the vendors, it's not for the events. It's for the gamers. It's for all of us that are there together. So be sure that you take the time to remember that. Be conscious of the people around you. Take them into consideration, and hopefully they'll take you into consideration at the same time. Make sure that not only you're having a great time, but everyone around you is having a great time. Let's make this a community. Let's be sure that we're sticking together throughout the entire convention, making sure that everybody is safe, happy, enjoying themselves, and that we all understand that we're there for a purpose, which is togetherness. So be kind to each other. Just make sure that you are caring for your fellow man and everyone else there, that your fellow gamers, because that's what it's all about to me. I love meeting you all. I have people come up to me all weekend long, saying, hey, I've seen your videos. Hey, I'm subscribed. Whatever, I love what you do. Thank you for your guides, whatever. I have people come up and say hi to me, and honestly, that's my favorite part. And it has, sure, it feels great that you guys are supporting me, and that means a lot, so please continue to do so. I love it. But that's not why I love it. I love it because I get to meet you. I get to meet other gamers. I get to meet other people who are there of like-mindedness, who are there for the fun. They're just to have a good time. We're all on vacation. We're at a place we love. I love that togetherness. So if you see me, be sure to come and say hi, because you coming and talking to me, I promise you, made my day. And I hope talking to me made a part of your day. So be sure that you take that into every interaction you have at Gen Con and make someone's day, and hopefully they'll make yours as well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope this was very useful to you. I try to make these guides as entertaining and useful as I can. I've got tons of content coming, both at Gen Con, I'll be doing my vlogs, and after Gen Con. I have so much more content coming, so be sure you subscribe, hit that like button. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys being here for me, and you know what? I'm just excited. I'll see y'all at Gen Con. Thanks for watching. Bye.